Hi, I'm Sheena. I'm the founder and CEO of Aergo Health. Thank you for the intro. So my background is actually in product design and mechanical engineering, but I've always had a passion for tangible objects, hardware, even though it's hard. So I have the chance to work on, like, for example, building an ice boat for the Winter Paralympics, as well as building IoT solutions to tackle air pollution. But one of the consistent themes I've always been passionate about is social impact. I've always thought if I can put design engineering skills into good practice in terms of making difference in the world, I'll be very proud. So when Trailor School, it's a special needs school based in the UK, approached me and my team to design a new assistive technology that will enable better social and physical participation for the children, where 90% of the students in the school were on a wheelchair or born with a neuromuscular disorder, whether that's cerebral palsy, spinal muscular atrophy, or muscular dystrophy. We were thinking of different ways that we can ensure that when they finish their school, they can go pursue a career they're passionate about or do the things they love. So I started looking into the day in the life of a child on a wheelchair, and I met Isaac. So he was 14 years old, born with cerebral palsy. And I'll always remember on that first day when I entered the hall and I saw him, and he was my first interviewee. But me and my team were very cautious. We weren't sure because he was quite slumped in his chair, and we weren't sure whether he had a learning difficulty. But as soon as we started talking to him, he was extremely engaging, super switched on, and super eloquent. He was so much better a speaker than I am. But that was the point. That point stuck with me because I was so embarrassed about how we approached him. And on that day, we spoke to more students in the school, and we learned that one of the most important thing for confidence and independence is actually their posture. And we started talking to the physiotherapists in school, and we started to learn that for some of the extreme cases, students have to be repositioned as frequent as every 15 minutes. And sometimes they have to use wedges, pillows, or mechanical fixtures to fix them into one single position throughout the day, which can cause discomfort for some of the students because children are dynamic. Regardless of their abilities, they tend to move, they want to interact. So once they wiggle out of that perfect posture, it's really hard for them to move back. And this is something that I actually have personal experience with because growing up, I had an accident as a child, so I started developing scoliosis. But my patients, being very Asian, they're so strict with me in terms of making sure that we don't deteriorate too quickly and go into spinal surgery. So then I was able to, maintain a pretty healthy curvature. Although I always thought that if I had done a better job, I'll be a bit taller by now, but it's okay. So looking at the markets, so comparing to the solutions and current solutions in the market, they're all clinically advanced. They're extremely well engineered. But something that I've learned from wheelchair community is the Disability Right campaign is trying to advocate that, technology is advancing to a stage where it seems like it could bring a bit more humanity into it. So instead of focusing on the clinical diagnosis, let's look into what a person with disability wants in terms of their lifestyle, their social needs. And so something that I wanted to tackle is, can we make a system not static, but dynamic, but also can we make it look more discrete and less emphasis on the disability of a person? So we had an idea. So first prototype, we hacked the fish tank. We hacked some blood pressure monitor, used Arduino, programmed up this dynamic air assisting system, and we brought it back to school and tested with the students and the teachers as well as the therapists. And it was so good to get the first feedback saying how this is the exact product that we're looking for. And the deputy heads of the school was like, I'm going to order 100 pieces. I was like, yes, 100 pieces. Oh my God. It was really exciting. But now looking back, I'll tell you more about the story later. I start pitching because one of the things I knew early on is an idea can only stay on the drawing board until you make it to market, and that's where the real impact happens. So I was doing a lot of Dragon's Den style pitch events, like just basically nonstop getting people on board to invest in our idea. And it was good that the James Dyson Foundation helped us with filing our patent in the UK, that attracted our first seed funding, and that was how we were able to found Aergo Health in the UK and start taking our product to the next level. So our core technology, which we have a demo unit here, what it does is you will set up the inflation first based on assessment of your posture. And then our pressure sensors will use that to dynamically position you as you move throughout the day. So trying to keep you in that healthy spinal alignment, because it really benefits your breathing, digestion, as well as your communication and your upper motor function. And currently we're applying more machine learning to really understand your habitual movements so that the air cells are continuously adapting to your activity and movements. And so basically, as a close-up of how the air cells inflate, it does inflate quite a lot, and we have different sizes for different human ergonomics. And so it's continuously moving with you and managing your posture. So currently we have our first product for the pediatric market in the market, and then we're launching a new product, and this is the solution that we have a demo here, which you're welcome to come and try. Throughout our journey, we've done a lot of clinical case studies, and it's so nice to hear from parents time after time how Aergo really has improved independence. It reduces manhandling, as well as really improving quality of life for a lot of the children, especially teenagers. They do not want to be touched, they just want something that they can control themselves and they can feel empowered by. As part of these medical devices, ISO standard is golden. So we've done a lot of testing, making sure it's safe. And actually, I've came to really enjoy the CE process, which sounds really geeky. But the best bit about this journey was building a great team. And it was really nice tonight to see some of the previous Aergoers here tonight, because together we were able to really make a difference in many people's lives. And just yesterday, we got an email from a user who says, "Thank you, Aergo team, for, I don't have any more pressure ulcers. I have a much better person to be around with. So really thank you for the previous Aergoers, but also the current Aergoers." And I just want to leave you with this last video, which is our first ever champion, which is Joshua, a boy with muscular dystrophy. We filmed this story about him with the Science Museum. So I'm just going to play that for you.
Hello, can you hear me? This is Captain Josh. Hello, can you hear me? Oh no, go, go, go! I'm Josh. I am 10 years old. I was born with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. This means I need a wheelchair to help me move around. But it's totally cool, because I am a special space agent. Today I have a mission. I need to contact the ground control from Mars. The only way I can reach them is to use a special communication system in the Science Museum. Let's go find out. I have my secret innovative gadgets that allow me to not only go everywhere, but also comfortably. Speed, fly, space, science, to infinity. Aha! Found you. Beep, beep, beep. Hello, can you hear me? This is Captain Josh reporting from planet Earth.
Glad to hear from you, Captain Josh.
Thank you, Aergo, supporting me wherever I go.